So about 2 weeks ago, there was leaks of a possible Peach Showtime demo. We weren't exactly sure if it was going to come out. And then about a week ago, one did actually come out. And it's weird that you don't see many companies doing these anymore, where they release a demo before a game actually comes out. Get to get your feet in it, test it. I think Call of Duty can maybe make an exception for that, but very rarely you really could, because they claim it's beta and everything is there for you to test, so you can't see the campaign, you only get the multiplayer and that's it, which is what most people care about, but not me. So when a Peach demo did come out, I'm like, okay, screw it, I'll play it, why not, see what happens, see if it's good. We saw this for the first time in the June Direct of last year, I think it was on the 21st, and I wasn't sure how to feel about that game, because, dude, it was the first time Peach has had a game in like over 10, maybe even 15 years now, whenever the DS was popular. Wow, I feel old saying that, but that game was weird. You had the different emotions you had to control, you had like weird enemies and environment effects. Definitely an interesting game, to say the least. I wasn't sure who the developer was, but basically take Yoshi's Island, put Peach in it, and remove everything that made Yoshi's Island, and that's the game. And of course, add in the giant Bowser fight, because you have to have one of those. But I think one of the other things that I was looking forward to was who developed the game, which we actually did get confirmation on, which is Good Feel. And they developed Yoshi's Woolly World, they made Crafted World, they made Kirby's Epic Yarn, for anybody who's played that on the Wii. I played the first world and never played it again, but hey, I'm not complaining too much. The game's good. I think the game's okay. Starting off, feel-wise, I'm not gonna lie, the opening cutscene and everything else kind of felt like a Luigi's Mansion type game, which is weird, because that's not... Next Level Games is not developing the title, it's someone completely different, but yet they nailed that atmosphere perfectly. That was the first thing I noticed. And I'm like, I couldn't help but think, like, what if Luigi was in this game? But he's getting his own HD remake later down the line. Going into the game, I think it controls fine. The controls are very simple. You have like A, B, and maybe a button combo of Z, L, and ZR, and that's pretty much all you have to do. I don't think the button combination is limiting, except for the combat, which is limited by the amount of buttons you can use. Combat in quotes, you're not really doing a whole lot. The one thing I found odd is, there's a parry you can do in the game, but if you parry, you can sometimes jump on the enemy's head, but if you jump on the enemy's head, you take damage, which I don't really understand why that's a thing, but whatever. Now, as for the story itself, Peach gets invited to a play. Very similar to Luigi's Mansion, where he gets invited somewhere. They go to the play. Oh no, Big Bad. I think Grape or whatever, or Plum is the enemy's name. And that's just a funny play on the fact that Peach is named after fruit, so they named the villain a fruit. I think that was cool. You know, taking over. You got two Toads with you who are kind of there. Peach loses her crown about, I want to say, the first level when you get introduced, and then you have Stella appear, who is basically the Cappy equivalent from Mario Odyssey, or the Luma from Mario Galaxy. And there you go. You even get this little spin thing from Mario Galaxy too. But it has a lot more use other than as an extra movement option. I mean, Galaxy kind of, yeah, but I mean, this, you're using the entire game. That is your entire arsenal. And you basically turn enemies, I guess, gone. They like just disappear. You basically just annihilate them. They explode in midair. Sometimes you hit friendlies, and they will turn happy from being sad. You affect the environment, which will sometimes reward you in coins and collectibles. I'll get into that later. But it was really interesting to see how easy a game like that can be, yet I sometimes felt like I was going to miss a collectible every single time. So the main power up in the game, like this is like the big seller, I would say, is you get these costumes, and these are like dedicated like per level. You have one per level, and that defines the entire level. So in the demo, there was only 2 levels, but there's a very apparent theme of what it is. The first level, you get a Swordfighter like halfway through. Latter half of the level, you just go and you tear shit up. You know, going through enemies, going through vines, going through anything that's breakable, you can break, and there you go. Combat's very simple. You mash the B button, and you win every time. Except when you get to stuff where you actually have to parry and be good at the game. Then you get to the cake one, you turn into a cake and whatever, like a cake baker, cookie baker, and you go in, and then you make cake, cookies, and you have a time limit, and you have to make so much in order to get some collectibles and a reward, and also not fail the level, I assume, or restart. I didn't do that bad, but I did pretty bad on the cake one. The cake one was pretty goddamn difficult. I didn't really understand what I was doing the first, 10 minutes of it. Not 10 minutes, it was like 10 seconds, but I didn't understand what I was supposed to do. It's like some of the things like highlighted pink. I wasn't sure what that was supposed to do. And some were like white. I'm like, am I just making my own cake here? What's going on? It didn't really click to me that I had to look to like my right to see like what I was supposed to do. It was like that like matchup game, except without the memorization in Mario Odyssey. And I didn't realize that. So the first one, I messed up pretty badly. The next two, I did fine, right? It was one where it started rotating and I had to make like, I guess a bunny shape or like a tie or something. I completely messed that one up. I was not getting that one. And then the next one came, I had 10 seconds left. You know damn well I'm not doing that one either. But to me, it made me realize this is, if you've ever seen Balan Wonderworld, it's such a mindfuck that they named it Wonderworld and not Wonderland, like Balan Wonderland. That makes sense, not Wonderworld. Anyway, that main selling point was, there's like over like 80 costumes or whatever, and you can use them all. Except you move at a snail's pace in that game. And the costumes are like basic functions you could have for like one power-up. And then I looked at that, and then I realized this Princess Peach Showtime is basically just that, but better. Like, it's dedicated to each level one costume. That is your entire gimmick for the entire level. Which works better than having several in an open world and giving them very smaller functions. You design the level around the costume, because that is good game design, right? You don't do all these little bits and pieces and give them basic abilities and then say, oh yeah, they'll figure it out, that's fine. No, that's terrible. You don't do that. That is bad game design. As for the visual aspect, I think the art style looks pretty good. We've definitely gotten pretty consistent with how the games look now for each Mario franchise game. I'm considering Peach part of the Mario franchise because, come on. I think it is one of the better looking games on the Switch. I will not be stupid and say it doesn't look good. Like, it's on par almost with Luigi's Mansion 3 in terms of art style and lighting and all that, which is really impressive considering they're two different developers. Which, again, nailed the atmosphere for me early on. But, goddamn, dude, we are really starting to see the age of the Switch. Holy shit. 7 years in, and we are lagging at 10 FPS on the loading screens. That is not good. We really cannot see a newer console soon enough. Moving on from that, I think the game is fine. I think it runs fine. Most of the time I ran at like 60, maybe a little below 60. For a Switch game, I'm more than okay with that. It could be the fact that it's a demo and it's holding things back in the code. That's also possible. A little bit of lag on the cutscenes. Was not happy with that, especially every time you do a power-up, which that cutscene will play every time. You can't skip it. I wish you could, but you can't. I mean, other than those hiccups, I think the game runs fine, and it's okay. It doesnn't help I'm playing on a 144Hz monitor either, which for those of you who don't know, that is more than double the average of what a normal TV can do. Moving on from that, they did change Peach's voice direction for this game specifically. I did notice that very early on. You'll notice in the cutscene. And I questioned, like, did they also replace Peach's voice actor? No, they did not. It's just a new direction. It took me a minute to get used to it, because I'm not used to Peach talking and the only person talking in the game. Now, I wanted to mention this before I, sign off or whatever, because, I mean, that really all there is to the game. I think the game is good. I didn't initially think I was going to play it, but I think I will. There's no problem with the game. But this really is making me realize we are at the end game for the console, the Switch in general. This is the last, major first-party game that isn't a remake or a remaster, that is an original game in the first half of 2024. We know nothing because we didn't get that first party direct, which makes me think we are really reaching the end. That June direct, we could see the unveiling of a new console and it coming that fall, but I don't think that's likely. I think we're going to get a few more first parties here and there. Later down the line, we'll get the reveal and the console release in March of 2025. That's the way I'm seeing it happen. That's the way Nintendo puts it. That is the earliest it will release, which is fine by me. That marks the 8-year anniversary of the Switch. I'm completely okay with it coming out then. But yeah, that's it for Peach's Showtime's demo. I will be playing this game. Maybe I'll do a review on it. Who knows? Maybe I'll just play it and upload my commentary and whatnot on the channel, and we'll go from there. Yeah, kind of a weird video to come back on after. I think I checked. I think I didn't upload in almost 2, maybe even 3 years. I've since gone and unlisted and all that because it's irrelevant at this point. I've been gone that long, but we're back, kind of. I'll upload when I have an idea. and if I feel like it. So yeah, here's to hopefully a year. I will see everyone within 2 or 3 months from now with how things are going. Kind of a touch base. That's kind of been my idea I've had. I'll do like a devlog of my channel, as stupid as that sounds. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and with that said, enjoy the outro jump scare. Bye.